representing our IESL Toastmasters Club. He has been proud to IESL Toastmasters Club. He is none other than TM Zamir M. Salim. Please put your hands to welcome.
Mr. Toastmaster, thank you very much. Toastmaster Mahesh is doing the technical speech. It is from the Advanced Communication Series Speeches by Management Manual, and he is doing it for his as the fourth project for his journey on Advanced Communicator System. The objectives of this speech is to convert a technical paper or technical material and information into a technical speech. Organize a technical speech according to the inverted pyramid approach. Write a technical speech as spoken language and not as an art. Give the speech by effectively reading out loud. The time allowed is 8 to 10 minutes, and the biggest challenge that Mahesh has in this is while reading he should maintain eye contact, vocal variety and gestures. The title of the speech is Postmodern Consumer Research Paper, delivered by Professor Udita Riani.
Mahesh, this is your time. Head of Planning and Planning, IESL Club, and our President, Mahesh.
Good evening.
Good evening.
There is a term in business which is often known as the customer is king. But many organizations do practice exactly the opposite. Sometimes you may think customer is not the king. Whatever it may be, it is important to know the consumer and identify him as the center of the business. According to consumer classifications, there are two main types of classifications. There is a traditional customer who is driven by the traditionalism. There is a modern consumer who is driven by the modernity. And the concept of traditionalism and the modernity is considered as two conflicting forces. However, there is a recent evidence of these two opposing forces being converged to form a third form. This force is known as the post-modernization. This change has taken place in the recent past without us taking notice of it. Therefore, it is important to know that there is a customer out there who's modern in his outfit but traditional in his thinking. Before examining postmodernism, it is also better to understand the underlying forces behind it, that is the traditionalism and the modernity. Traditionalism can be explained as a connecting link between generations that link the generations together. And the deviations from the tradition is not encouraged and is not acceptable. And there is a deviation, it is leading to serious consequences, such as cultural isolation, broken continuation of generations. For example, getting married to a person who does not belong to your religion, or the caste, or the social strata, is considered as a serious deviation from the tradition. And the consequences are the cultural isolation and the broken relationships. Therefore, the traditions can also be viewed as a psychological comfort that people may have to live in this modern society. There are two main forces that shaped traditionalism in our history. That is pre-1956 generation and the post-1956 generation. There are two main generations as such. When I talk about pre-1956 generation, due to the influence from British ruling and English education, this segment is more Western oriented. They ran the Ceylon Administrative Service. They were educated in English medium, attended to the foreign universities like Oxford and Cambridge, and spoke Queen's English, and also followed Queen's table manners. The post-1956 segment had completely different set of attributes. They are products of free education, studied in central colleges, and attended to local universities, and studied in local language. They too employed mainly in the sales sector, in the middle managerial positions, as university lecturers, administrative service, and the clerical service, etc. And we have seen the conflict between these two generations over a period of time throughout our history. And because of this power struggle, the power has been shifted from the pre-1956 era to the post-1956 era. And interestingly, this power shift is very evident to the political landscape. Politicians such as Ransinga Premadasa and Mahinda Rajapaksa became the leaders of their respective political parties, and also they became president of this country, which was traditionally held by the Western-oriented elite. And similar changes have been observed in sports, especially in cricket, where the team composition was mainly centered on few elite schools in Colombo and the few cricket clubs in Colombo. Now situation has completely changed. Let's look at the other force, which is the modernity. The main driver behind the modernity was the liberalization of economy in 1977. As a result, we have seen a big expansion of the formal private sector. Unlike in the state sector, the private sector could afford to pay high salaries with fringe benefits to the executives. At the same time, there were new class of entrepreneurs who emerged due to the expansion of the economy, who was previously the sideline due to the closed economy and the social background. With the popularity of TV, internet, mobile phones, and credit cards, and more importantly, the purchasing power of this newly emerged segment, the consumption patterns has changed. In the pre-1977 era, the social position of one person was measured on the position you would hold in the society or the profession that you belong to. The classic example is the term Mahatya was used to describe either a professional, Veda Mahatya or Iskole Mahatya, or the position you hold in the society, Vidane Mahatya or Borve Mahatya. However, we have seen the term Mahatya often associated with the newly emerged business community in a different format. Udari Mahatya. The social position has changed from who you are, that is the position or the profession that you belong to what you own, the amount of assets that you own. It is often perceived that the ownership of assets, such as vehicle or house, or overconsumption, that means having more vehicles and more houses, is seen as a sign of good life and the prosperity. This behavior of modernity has been expressed by consumers in many ways. Regular eating outs to restaurants, frequent foreign travel, Singapore to Bangkok, traveling during long weekends, mostly to the national parks. A few examples out of many. Now let's look at the post-modernization. The post-modernity has been emerged due to the convergence of these two opposing forces of traditionalism and the modernity. This is because consumers are not courageous enough to completely give up the traditionalism because fear of cultural isolation. At the same time, they do not want to be seen as outdated or old-fashioned. There is a paradox. This psychological struggle had led to the birth of post-modernization. This behavior was expressed in many forms. We often see the top part of the national dress is worn along with the trouser. The expansion shirt and sarong is an acceptable form of dress code even for cocktail parties. The synthetic and silky shirts are being replaced by the cotton and the linen. Not to mention that the extensive use of erythritol is the bangle. In the front of architecture, there is a tendency to move away from the tiled floors to cement floors. And the new offices and the hotels are being designed under the principles of eco, and many promote eco-tourism. And this trend is very evident in reality shows. The reality shows are exact carbon copies of American Idol. Their format is very modern, starting from the outfit of the performers to the backdrop of the stages. The winners are selected using SMSs. However, the songs sung by these performers do belong to 1960s and 1970s. It was also reported that the people queuing in front of the concert halls to buy tickets for the musical shows conducted by Victor Ratnakar and Nandavan. There are many production services consciously made use of this mega trend. The popularity of mac rice, which is a unique product which is only available in Sri Lanka by KFC, provides further evidence of this. People would like to associate with KFC because it is a symbol of modernity, but still want to consume rice, which is a symbol of traditionalism. Rogart, which is an international brand, managed to capture a significant market share in Sri Lanka simply by introducing clove in their communication. At the same time, superiority failed to gather the momentum due to the lack of modern touch. Sunlight, which has been a household name for many years in Sri Lanka, had to undergo a change in branding as a result of this. It was found that the Sunlight lost the modernity element in this product. The Sunlight girl that we see in the present communication has more touch and feel of the modernity compared to the girl what we have seen in the previous year. Popularity of summer portion also provides further insights into this. Summer portion is a combination of Western cereal with traditional breakfast, local breakfast. Therefore, it is important to keep an eye on this mega trend that would shape the consumer behavior in the future. So keep in mind, there is a consumer out there who is modern in his output but traditional at heart.